a financial instrument.
Those were pretty serious actions, all of these things. Pulling
True.
ozone layers and so on.
I know that. I know that.
Mike, here's another one. You ever...
I don't. That's why I don't think people should see all these bad things that I did, because they're going to know how terrible I've been. Why would you want to tell everybody all the overts I've committed? That wouldn't help me.
Well, then, these are the overts that you've committed?
Yeah. I mean, when people hear that I've done that, how much can they possibly think of me?
Okay.
Except that I'm a rotten person.
But it wasn't you, Stephen Fishman, who did these things.
It was the Thetan running this body.
Okay. Have you ever perpetrated an injustice? Says yes, as long as 12 trillion years.
Right.
What kind of injustice was that?
Well, that was the incident where I put things in Si's place. And I was married, and I put my three wives in Si's place. I was cruel. You know, I carried a policy too far. I think that was a little unjust.
Have you ever made sanity appear to be psychotic? Say sanity in this society is psychotic.
Yeah, it is. Do you know why?
Why?
Because the thing that was interfered with by the Between Lives area is sanity. Anybody that thinks they're a body is insane. I personally think that you are both insane.
You think we're insane?
Absolutely. Because you believe you're a body.
You don't think you're insane?
No. I know I'm not insane, because I know I'm a spiritual being. But you think you're a body, and that's totally insane. This civilization, people go through lives, they work, they raise a family, and they die. What?
Go ahead.
And they think that this is normal. They think this is normal. They think that that the accumulation of mess, of money and of things is the right is sane. When they don't even want to confront accumulating knowingness. They don't even care where they were before this lifetime. They don't even think they had a past life, a past lifetime. Now, isn't that insane? Don't you? Well, no, you don't. But I think that's totally insane.
Let's just do one more thing. Can we sort of take a tour of this room?
Okay, we're on.
Okay, just pan those small pictures up on the wall there above the window. And while that's going on, Stephen, why don't you tell me just generally what those pictures represent?
Well, they're scenes from L. Ron Hubbard's Decology called Mission Earth, which is a science fiction series based on the whole track.
Okay, so that although it was written as science fiction and many people would think of it as science fiction, actually it is true
from
history.
Circumstances, yes, exactly.
True history.
L. Ron Hubbard's time track.
Okay. So it's actually a report of something that was true,
Yeah.
but is believed by the uninformed
By the Wogs.
to be science fiction. Okay.
Yes.
Behind you are a number of posters. The first one on the right, does that one have anything to do with Scientology? All the way on the right.
This is a picture of the Thetan, which was created by Sun Saray, who is that person that Mark mentioned before,
Okay.
who turned squirrel later on.
Is that an accepted picture of a Thetan, or was that her interpretation?
Both, because it was a Thetan doesn't really have any form or wavelength or matter, energy, space, or time, but this is her interpretation of what a Thetan mocking up a doll body looks like. You know what a doll body is?
No.
Okay, a doll body is like a robot body, which we used to use prior to the physical body.
Okay. I'm just curious, down below that copy machine, right by your leg, there seem to be a collection of videotape.
No, they're my favorite television show, Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse.
So you have, what, a collection of maybe 20 or 30?
Yeah, and then I have my hat packs from Scientology on the
Okay,
bottom.
so you got 20 or 30 videotapes of Pee Wee Herman, and,
Right.
and then underneath that,
I've got
collection
hat packs.
of Scientology hat packs.
Yeah, for example, here's one.
And those are all hat packs. that
Here's
you-
the Director of Registration, Volume 2.
Okay.
Tells you exactly what your post would be.
Roughly
if you-
how much would you have paid for that?
$60.
Okay. And would those be the same HCOs that would be in some of the bound
Identical,
volumes?
but they're in a different sequence, so that's
Just
why they're-
organized into the hat pack.
Right, exactly.
So you might pay $60 for a volume of that size, and then pay how much for each of the volumes of the collected HCO memos?
Well, the $100 for each of those.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next poster over. Rocket your case progress with the new OT.
This relates to OT4, the level of OT4, which is the end of endless drug rundowns.
Ah, okay. So an OT drug rundown is finally going to get rid of all the drug effects that anybody's ever had?
Exactly. You
But
do that after you do the wall of fire.
Okay. Well, that would include prescription drugs and all forms of pharmaceuticals as well as illicit drugs, right?
Exactly, even including MSG. MSG is a drug.
So basically, to complete the drug rundown, you would have to recontact each instance in
In your entire time track,
which you had
any experience or contact or connection with any drug.
So running back over 76 trillion years,
Right.
you would have to audit out
Everyone.
every time you took an aspirin, every
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
That could take a while.
Well, you do them as locks.
Oh, so you do bunches at a time.
You do bunches of aspirins at a time and bunches of whatever, you know.
Okay.
There are a lot of drugs that you may not even be aware of because they're not of this planet.
Okay. The last cars on Earth before World War III.
Right.
Is that a Scientology-related poster?
Yeah, I put the poster together because what I did is I got the 1997 is the last year we're going to be here unless I can do something to save the planet.
Okay. The year 1997, is that your insight, or is that commonly accepted within the Scientology community?
I don't know how commonly accepted it is, but it's part of my auditing cycle.
So it's at least your auditing cycle.
Of course it is,
And-
but it may not be. It may be too confidential for a lot of people to know about.
Okay, and you don't know that's a widely held belief with.
Well, I know it's widely held because I discussed it with some Scientology execs.
Uh-huh. And how did they react to it?
They were well aware of it. When I went to L.A. and I spoke to the senior chaplain out in AOLA, her last name was Holwedel, I think, Holwedel. She was totally aware of it. And I don't even think she had my PC folder.
Okay, so was she aware of it because it's something that many people recognize?
Probably, on the upper levels.
Oh, okay. What's that little poster?
This is my favorite planet, Gandalupia.
Where did that poster come from?
I saw this in a magazine, and I remembered this place. And I took it to Fred Hare, and I said, you see this picture? It's Gandalupia. This is the crystal planet where all of the water was crystalline. And I actually mocked this planet up. And Fred admitted that he had seen this as well. So he said, we'll frame that. Let's frame that, you know.
Okay. The next poster over, the one with the rather unhappy-looking face.
Well, Joe Spencer painted this. It's also from Mission Earth. And it's called Death of a Tolnap, which has to do with an incident in the book where a suppressive being, this is what a suppressive looks like, was destroyed. And, well, this is a very important thing.
That's the ethics conditions.
These are the ethics conditions. You're always in one of them. You as a Thetan cannot be out of this chart. You are in the chart somewhere. Up until the time that this whole mess happened, I was right here in power. Power is a normal, is